That's a cool idea. I like that.
Last September, I visited Martin Guitar in Nazareth, Pennsylvania, with a few ideas in mind. One of them was very specific. I wanted to get my hands on the double neck acoustic guitar that is now in production, and to understand how what began as a one-off experiment ended up becoming a real viable instrument. I did not have a huge amount of time, and I should be honest from the start, I am not a 12-string player. I have basically never spent time with one. 12 strings already feels like a different language. So adding a second neck to the same acoustic body felt like an invitation to rethink the instrument entirely. Excuses aside, it was genuinely fun. I did manage to get a performance of a song down, which you will see at the end of this video. But before we get there, I want to start at the very beginning. While I was at Martin, I wanted to understand where this guitar actually came from, not just how it's built, but why it exists at all. And that is where Jason Arner comes in. Jason is Martin's archivist and historian, and he walked me through the lineage of this instrument. Long before the modern double neck, there was the harp guitar. This was not about excess or spectacle, it was about extending the guitar's range. More bass, more resonance, more harmonic possibility. And once you understand that, the modern double neck stops feeling ludicrous. It feels like a continuation.
Martin has been building harp guitars since the mid-1800s, and a lot of the first triple O's built were harp guitars like this 18-string. This is from 1902, but on these early harp guitars, the second neck was never fretted. They were just really drone strings, and you had the 6-string neck with frets on it. But I mean, Martin built about a dozen or so of these in the early 1900s. Never really got into harp guitars too much more after that. But then in the 1990s, Danny Brown he was working in R&D at the time. He works in our custom shop now. He built this harp guitar. So this body is based off of the Goliath. So Scott Chinnery was a major guitar collector, and he had this Larson Brothers acoustic, and it had this humongous body. Well, Martin recreated that guitar in the custom shop, and Danny thought, you know what? That's the perfect body shape to build a double neck with. So this was Martin's first attempt at a double neck where both necks were fretted. So you have your 6-string, your 12-string, and then about a decade later, Tim Teal, who's the head of our instrument design, built the double neck that's in the case.
Hello, this is Tim Teal from Martin Guitar. I'm in the instrument design product development group, and I'm here with Mary Spender. We're talking about the double neck guitar. This guitar was made back in 2009 into 2010, and this was as a request from Mr. Chris Martin because we started working on a larger body shape. So around 2008 or so, we developed the Grand Jumbo. So this is the Grand Jumbo shape. It's 17 inches across at the lower bow. And because of this, Chris had asked, hey, could you put 2 necks into this larger guitar? So I started working on it. Had a help of a few really talented people here at Martin in terms of the inlay. So Dale Truck did the inlay around the fingerboards. The construction, though, I did, and the really impossible neck fit, which was a real challenge. You can see how these normal dovetail necks fit around the shoulder of the body. So typically you'd have the dovetail here in the center, which has a slight radius, but nothing as severe as putting the neck on basically the side of the guitar. So this came about because we wanted to introduce a double neck at the NAMM show as basically a concept piece. It got a lot of attention, certain people remembered that we had this. One of them being John Mayer, who called up a couple years ago and said, "Hey, I'm doing a solo show, and do you guys have a double neck guitar that I could either buy or loan?" And so Fred Green came in and said, "Hey, Tim, remember that guitar you did many years ago? It was probably like 10 years ago." I'm like, "Yeah, I haven't seen it in a while." So we got it out of the archives. And sure enough, the guitar was rock solid. Action was still perfect. So we sent it out to John, and he did many, many shows with it. And along the way, people would call in, "Hey, what's that guitar?" "Well, it's a double neck guitar. Can I get one?" "No, sorry." So they try to talk us into doing a custom. And it was so difficult to build this one, you know, my answer always was no, we're not capable of doing it. And then finally, Thomas Ripson, who's our CEO, he's heard many of these requests and said, "Hey, you know, I think it's time you guys figure out how to do these." So we started a team, and that team basically involved multifunctional areas of the company, for product design to tooling to QA. And I forget how I built this guitar. So we were fortunate enough to meet up with John at the Philly venue that he was playing at. And we were able to reconnect with this and kind of go back in, do a deep dive on what I did on the bracing and everything. And one of his guitar techs said, "Hey, just to let you know, this is the most stable acoustic guitar we have in our lineup. So whatever you guys did on bracing, just do the same thing. Don't change it."
Wow.
So that was pretty impressive. And we pretty much held true to all of that. We did want to create a guitar that was more affordable. And so we kept it more simple. It's based off of a 28 for the new one. This one is based off of a 42 and has a lot of pearl accoutrements on it. So the really cool thing is today, if you wanted to buy one of these, it is in our price list. First time ever a double neck is on the price list. Typically they were custom built over the years. And yeah, for X amount of dollars in your area, you can purchase one of these. It's a Grand Jumbo 28 DN for double neck.
Coordination.
That's a cool idea. I like that.
With that context, the modern double neck makes much more sense. It is not a gimmick. It is not often you play a guitar you have never touched before in front of the person who built the instrument that was then played night after night on tour by John Mayer. That was an honour, and I definitely did not do it justice. So when I finally sat down to perform a song on it, I was not trying to master it. I was trying to listen to it. And I will be honest, looking back at the recording now, I think I played too hard. I probably overplayed. But this was my very first day ever playing a double neck acoustic, which makes me think the only real solution might be to live with one. Put it in the studio and see what kind of music asks to be written on it.
There's a line I wanna cross. When it comes to you, all bets are off. I won't eat, I know you know what you mean to me. I've never been like this before. Okay, safe sliding doors. Now I'm here, heart in hand, no second guessing, no backup plan. I'll move across these foreign lands if it means words won't do me justice now. I have to act, make you proud. Share the life you wanna share. Then you slip away again. 7 years, baby. 7 years. Now I'm here, heart in hand. No second guessing, no backup plan. I'll move across these foreign lands if it means you.
I don't have a crazy amount of time with this double neck, but some of the things I was thinking about is just utilizing, if you're down here, you want to be maybe getting some harmonics, which might then keep ringing out when usually you would be muting them. You might go, but if you go, so what else was I thinking about? Harmonics being a bit more soft up here, because maybe the volume isn't quite. That is my first time with a double-necked Martin acoustic guitar. That's crazy. That's a crazy sentence to say. I would love more time with one because I think it's all about the arrangement. Yes, maybe if you had this instrument from the very beginning, you would be able to write using it, write using the functionality of the 12-string, and maybe if you're a 12-string player already, then this just makes sense. But right now I'm trying to think, I'm like, okay, I could go really strummy with a song to perform right now and arrange. But I'd rather do something a little bit more fingerpicky, like I was in the museum earlier. God, it's good. Before I wrap this up, I should say that playing the double neck was only part of my time at Martin Guitar. With the help of Jason Arner, I also spent time in the Martin Museum looking at some newer additions to the collection. We talked through design choices, lineage, and the quieter details that often get missed. I also asked Jason a lot of questions about my own custom Martin OM42, because on paper, none of the individual elements are unusual, but my exact combination is. And there is a long history behind those choices. And in the extended version of this film, we go through the guitar properly. Specs, materials, design language, and why I landed where I did. I also could not resist asking about John Mayer's signature models and thinking behind some of those design decisions as well. All of that lives in the extended cut. That longer version of this film is now up on Nebula. Nebula is built for projects like this. Most platforms today are optimized for speed, short clips, fast turnover, attention shaved down to the bone. Convenient, yes, but not designed for long stories or deep work. You do not really own your creative life there. You rent it briefly until the system changes its mind. Nebula is different. It is creator-owned and ad-free, built so filmmakers can release work in its full form without pressure to cut for time or shape things for an algorithm. Just the project, exactly as it was meant to be seen. On Nebula, you can watch the complete extended version of my time at Martin alongside my longer documentaries. The Royal Albert Hall film lives there, as does The Making of Songbook, which tells the full behind-the-scenes story of recording 26 songs in one summer and turning them into 2 albums. You will also find extended cuts of the Dire Straits film with more from John Illsley, and the full Led Zeppelin documentary, including my conversation with biographer Bob Spitz. Nebula has quietly become a home for thoughtful storytelling from hundreds of creators, originals, extended versions, early access, all beautifully watchable. And because it is creator-run, watching there directly supports the people making the work. There is also a discount on the annual plan. The link is below. You can scan the QR code on screen. And I will, of course, see you over on Nebula, but I'll also be seeing you here again very, very soon.
There's a line one cross when it comes to you. All bets are off. I won't eat, I won't sleep until I know you know why you